Hey team, today's the day where we start the lawn renovation proper, and as you can see the lawn is looking really good. It's really popping at the moment, but sad to say it's going to be sacrificed for long-term good. So this is what it looks like before we start, and I'll show you some videos along the way, so stay tuned. Another marvellous day in Marlborough. So today we're going to do some scalping, followed by the second phase, which is de-thatching. And for today, because I'm taking the lawn down to the roots, I need a little bit of extra horsepower, so I'm moving from the battery power to the petrol mower, just because it's got a little bit more oomph, and we want to get it down as low as possible, ready for the scarifying process. So without further ado, we'll get into it. So here you go team, you don't need to see me doing the entire lawn, but you can see the effects of the scalping. So you can see what the lawn looks like on top. Down below there's all this residual thatch, it's rotted away, along with some fungus and everything else. So this is the lowest my mower will go. Still, it's probably about right, so we'll do the entire lawn with this before we go over with the scarifier to reduce the amount that we're going to get out. So as you can see, we're going to give it quite a haircut, but we'll just move on and do the rest of it. Hey team, and there you have it. That's it scalped, pretty much down as low as the mower will go. As I said before, these brown patches are a combination of several things. Previous fungus where hasn't grown back in the thatch, but it is living in between, but also some high and low points on my lawn. And although I'm a fanatic, I'm not that much of a fanatic to even it out. But as you can see, it's still really thick. So although it's short, it's so thick, and that's what's stopping the nutrients in the water getting down to the roots. So all that has got to be ripped out with the scarifier, and you'll be surprised at how much will still come out of it tomorrow. And just to show you how much I cut out of it, you can see these three fadges just by lowering it. So tomorrow I'll probably get 5 out of the scarifying, but it's probably all I'm going to do today. Give it a rest, give myself a rest. Puffing a little bit. Got my old mate next door, is going to help me lift those fadges on and dump them at the dump. But it's a really good start. As you can see, we'll thin that out quite a lot tomorrow. Hey there, and welcome back to the Grass Commando. We're at day 2 of the lawn renovation, and today, after scalping it yesterday, we're going to do the de-thatching, and the weapon of choice is the Ryobi de-thatcher. Takes the standard batteries, 2 of them, and here's a pretty good piece of kit. If we just tip it over, have a look. So you've got 2 options when it comes to this. You've got a de-thatching attachment and an aerating attachment. This is the aerating attachment, which is a little bit harsher on the lawn. I'm probably going to stick with that today so that I can really get in and rip out the thatch. I do have the other attachment, which is more spring type attachments on it, but a few of them are broken off and I need to order another one. So I'm going to give this a go and see how well it rips it up. So I'll just do a little bit of a demo of it going, and you can see the difference it makes. So we'll just run the scarifier over and see what happens. You see that's thinned it out a bit. I'll probably do a bit more just to thin it out even more. It's on setting 2 at the moment, so I'll probably try and go down one more and see what happens. So that's the result after going over it once. You can see how much stuff it pulls out, even from pretty short grass. So if we have a look down here now, you can see how it's actually ripped out all that thatch in between. I can actually get down to the dirt, and there is still green growth there. So although it looks like it's gone through a little bit of a shredder, it's actually still very healthy underneath, and that'll grow back, as you can see. So let's get this top stuff all picked up and see what it looks like. So the best way to rake up the thatch is to rake it in rows like I've done here, and then get a fadge and a couple of these bear claws. These are about the best thing to pick it up quickly and efficiently. You can work up and down the rows quite quickly. I use a normal rake, but I've found that clogs up quite easily, so I'm thinking a bit of a tip here: if you get a leaf rake, it'll probably be better, as it won't clog up the tines. But after you've got it in these rows, it's just a matter of working your way down with the fadge and the bear claws. There you go, team, that's the end result. Having scarified it, scalped it, and you can see that new stuff will bounce back pretty quick. One thing I didn't say is you should turn off your irrigation the night before, because scarifying wet grass does damage it significantly, but this isn't majorly. I can put some seed down, but as you can see there, you really want it to be quite dry. And the bits that we can't get around the edges are so small, doesn't really matter. The thatch in there, it won't really impact when the lawn grows back. So that's about 70 square metres, and got quite a bit of thatch out of there. Now got to do about 250 out the front, so we'll see how that goes. And here's a shot of the grass commando cat, hard at it obviously, helping me. I tried to get him in his ghillie suit yesterday for some in front camera time, but although he can't speak English, he let me know pretty quickly he wasn't too keen on that, so I've just left him to his own devices today. Now there's the first pass one way of most of the lawn. I'll probably go another direction as well between times, but as you can see, it's pulled up quite a bit. When I rake it up, you'll see how much there really is. But yeah, it's not going too bad. There you go, team. That's it, scalped and scarified. I spared you some intermediate steps, but just so you're aware, went over it longitudinally one way, and then cleared it up, and then went across it laterally. And as you can see, it looks like it's dead, but it isn't. In fact, if you look closely at it and you brush it away, you can see it's got some really good root stock still in there, and you can actually, that is the dirt now. So with that done, the next step will be to water it later tonight, because I need the dirt a little bit softer, and then I'll aerate it proper. Now, although that attachment on the scarifier was supposed to be an aerator, and you can probably see the scarf marks in it, it actually doesn't go deep enough. So in my mind, you know, Ryobi make good tools, but this particular one, I would suggest that it's still just a scarifying attachment. Now, late last year I had a real dead patch here, and you can see, although it ultimately grew back, because it had died off, you still got quite a bit of stuff there, but that will grow back. This here is interesting, this bit here, that's the shell of what's left of the slow release nitrogen I put on about 5 months ago. So you've got to be careful putting nitrogen on, always try for a slow release, otherwise if you put a liquid on, you really need to water it in. I'm pretty pleased with that result. I could have probably gone over it again, but we'll just see how this goes. Remembering this is a year's worth of growth, because I didn't do it in autumn. So yeah, later on today I'll water it, and then tomorrow I'll get the proper aerator. I'll show you what a proper aerator is and what it does. Hey team, and welcome to day 3 of the lawn renovation, where today we're going to be doing the aeration, and for this you need a pretty decent tool, and this is the weapon of the day. So this here is a really good piece of kit. I actually had to buy it in from Australia because there wasn't anything cost effective in New Zealand, but essentially this allows, as you can see, some pretty decent aeration as opposed to what the Scarified did yesterday, which is only surface deep. The good thing with this one is you fill it with water, so you can adjust the weight depending on what the soil's like, and by watering it the day before it does let it go in, but as you can see it's still not penetrating much at all. So I'll probably fill that half up with water to get a really good penetration. Now every time before you use it, it's always best to check the spikes. They don't really come loose a lot of the time, but I've had one or two which I probably didn't install properly. But tell you what, you're in for a big workout. You spend a day hauling this thing around. So I've filled it up about a third of the way, and that seems to be appropriate for the soil that I've got. If you have a look, it's really penetrating down into the soil, so that's probably about as much as I need today. What I generally do is I'll go up and down and then move it across half and then redo it. So I'll probably over aerate, but that's not going to do it any harm. And essentially with this thing here, for safety, you pretty much want to be dragging it rather than pushing it. So as you can see, pretty simple process, going backwards and forwards. Flick it over and trying to get the closest edge as you can. I've got about 275 square metres to do, so it's going to be quite a workout for today. As I said, this is all it is, rinse and repeat pretty much. So we'll see what it looks like at the end. Yeah, and after about an hour of pulling that thing around, it's done. So you can see here the effect that it has on the lawn, punching the holes in there. So obviously any rain or nutrients, or even loosens up the dirt for the roots to grow. There is another way you can achieve it, through coring, which actually takes out plugs of holes, and you can fill them with sand, which also makes it more prone to absorbing water. But I've found good results just aerating it. So the next step will be let it live for a couple of days and then decide whether I'll just fertilise it with some granular or whether I will overseed and put some compost down. But I'll decide that over coming days.